All right, welcome guys. This is going to be a really quick live stream. We got 10 games to talk about, so I'm going to go super fast. If you guys are new to the channel, new to the live stream, how this works, so we'll take a look at what we know so far, review the Vegas odds, and go team by team, talk about the players I like, try to leave some room for questions, some time for questions. Let's start off with what we know so far. Kemba Walker out, Daniel Tice out, big boost those Boston guys. Thompson, Robert Williams should split the front court. Peyton Pritchard probably starts at the point guard. He's decent value. Let's see. Jokic probable. Gary Harris is questionable. And Monte Morris questionable. That is big news. If they are both out, Campozo is one of the best, if not the best value plays of the slate. SGA in. Horford out. Assuming Roby starts, he's a really good value. PJ Tucker doubtful. Oladipo doubtful. Eric Gordon questionable game time decision. Fournier in, MCW starting the point guard, but again, one more body in the rotation being Evan Fournier. Also, Al-Farouq Aminu expected to play. That's another guy in there. Ben Simmons questionable, then ruled out. Joel Embiid will play. Ben Simmons out. Victor Oladipo out. PJ Tucker out. Still waiting on Eric Gordon news. So, all right, that's what we got so far. Looking at the Vegas odds really quick here. Knicks, Magic 209.5 over under. Magic 4-point favorites. Hawks and Celtics at 223 over under. The Celtics are 2.5-point favorites. Rockets, 76ers 227.5 over under. 76ers are 8.5-point favorites. Nuggets, Wizards 234.5 over under. Definitely a high one here. Nuggets 3.5-point favorites. Has some shootout risk for sure, or shootout potential. Pistons, Bulls 219 over under. Bulls 3-point favorites. Pacers, Timberwolves 225 over under. The Pacers are 5-point favorites. Thunder, Grizzlies 227 over under. Grizzlies are 6.5-point favorites. Jazz and Clippers 229 over under. We're still waiting on some news here. Jazz 5-point favorites, and Heat Warriors 222.5 over under. Warriors are 1-point favorites, and that's what we got so far for those Vegas odds. All right, so I'm gonna go team by team really quick. We'll start off with New York and Orlando. Julius Randle at 9.5, I think, is firmly in play. Now, is he a must-play at the price? No. Liked him better when he was 8.7, but again, he is the number one in the offense. He's got stuff to stat sheet. Should play 35-plus minutes. Do like him. The guards, I just don't think we have to go there in the slate. Probably one of those guys will get there, but again, no one really playing more than like 20-ish minutes as far as like Peyton Rose, quickly Burke, so I don't want to go there. Nerlens Noel probably started center, probably played 25 to 30 minutes. Decent value, but not a priority with that price coming up. And that's really it for the Knicks. Let's move on to the Orlando Magic. Again, they have Evan Fournier back. So MCW at 4.9, I think it's still a decent value. Now, how many minutes will he play? I'm guessing probably similar, probably 25-ish, maybe 25 to 30. And he's probably the guy I would look to on the Magic. Vooch at that price, more of a contrarian play, but still viable for tournaments. I'm not going to go to Fournier in his first game back. That takes Terrence Ross out of play for me. Bacon, Clark, no way I'm playing either of them. So that's it for the Magic. Moving on to Atlanta and Boston. I think Trae Young always in play for tournaments. Capella, Collins, decent at their respective prices. Neither priorities. I'm not playing Herter, Gallinari, or Reddish. Pretty simple there. On the Boston side, a little bit more I like. Tristan Thompson and Robert Williams, I think, are two of the best values of the slate. Thompson probably starts, probably plays 28 minutes, and you're going to get the rest for Robert Williams most likely. This is a big Atlanta front court. I don't really think they can go small ball with Grant Williams or Semi Ojeleye. So I think these two, once again, will split the center minutes. I played them both last slate. It worked out for me. So I think you can realistically play them both again if you want to. Again, there's 10 games, so I don't think we have to do that, but both Thompson and Robert Williams think I like for value. And then with no Kemba Walker, I'm guessing Peyton Pritchard starts the point guard. If he does, I think he's decent value, probably plays close to the 30-minute mark, even though last time he started for no Kemba, he was a complete bust. And then Tatum and Brown with no Kemba Walker look a lot better here in a really good matchup. If I had to pick, would rather get to Jason Tatum. I think he has more upside, but both Tatum and Brown firmly in play. Houston and Philly, so John Wall is a good play there at 7.8K. He'll be the number one in the offense. We're still waiting on Eric Gordon news, actually is pretty significant. If Eric Gordon's out, John Wall is a good play. Again, he's going to play 35-plus minutes, so I do like John Wall. Boogie Cousins, I mentioned this in my video, but Philly is obviously big with Joel Embiid. Like, Houston they don't have any other size besides Boogie, so this might be a game where he has to play more minutes, so you can take a shot at him for tournaments and kind of hope the minutes are there. The value guys are really, it's dependent on Eric Gordon. If Eric Gordon is in, I'm not going to go to any value. If Eric Gordon is out, then we have Tate, House, Brown, Nwaba. If I had to pick one, it would be Nwaba because he is the cheapest. All right, the Philadelphia 76ers side, so no Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid, I think, is a good spend up. Again, he should be able to have his way here. Even at 11K, love his upside. Now, with no Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris does become a little bit more viable here. He'll play, similar minutes, but his usage will go up. I'm fine taking a shot there. Then I'm curious to see what they do with the starting lineup, like who they move in. Going to kind of take a wait-and-see approach for now, because I'm not sure who they're going to move in that starting lineup with no Ben Simmons. Right, so we'll see. Definitely some possible value here for Philly, but I'm just curious to see who ends up starting. So keep an eye on that one for now. Indiana and Minnesota. Sabonis, Brogdon, both good plays at their respective prices. Might prefer Brogdon for the discount, 2K discount. But again, I love targeting players against the Minnesota Timberwolves team. Other options in the Indiana Pacers, not a ton I like. I think McConnell, if there's no Doug McDermott, will probably play big minutes. I think you can use him in the mid-range. On the Minnesota side, Cat at the top, more of a contrarian spend up. Anthony Edwards had a big game last game. I'll let others chase. I think he's a decent tournament play. Again, the good thing with Anthony Edwards is he's going to get a lot of shot attempts up, but don't expect 50 again from him. Where I'm looking to for value is actually Jared Vanderbilt. Played 23 minutes, was in foul trouble 2 games ago. Played 29 minutes that last game. I'm expecting 25-ish minutes from him. He's a decent point for a guy. I do have interest in Jared Vanderbilt. Moving on to Denver and Washington. So really waiting on Monte Morris and Gary Harris news. If they're both out, then Campozo, assuming he starts, is one of the best value plays of the slate. He played enormous minutes last game. He'd be one of the best values. Jokic in just a smash matchup should be able to have his way. Super high usage guy. Great matchup. Love Jokic if you can get to him. Jamal Murray at 7-1. Definitely in play for tournaments. We've seen the up and down nature, but 40, 39, 45 fantasy points the last three games. He is firmly in play. If you want to take a shot at MPJ, you can. Again, he was been chalk for the last couple slates. I'm not really sure why. Because the minutes are always inconsistent with him, even with a thin rotation. And that's probably it. I don't think we have to take a shot on a guy like RJ Hampton on this slate. JaMychal Green was a letdown. Again, I expected that to be an 8-man rotation. It was a 10-man rotation. He didn't run a ton of the backup 5. When everyone's off him, this is where JaMychal Green's going to have a big game, and we're all going to be very, very tilted, but that's just how DFS goes. All right, on the Washington side, Westbrook and Beal. I think both are good options. If I had to pick one, it would be Westbrook just because he stuffs the stat sheet. Do prefer him to Beal. And then Mo Wagner, if you want to get a little bit risky as a value play, he's been the starting center the last couple games. He's in foul trouble and still played 24 minutes that last game. He's a decent point per minute guy, a good 3-point shooter. I think Mo Wagner is definitely a guy you can look to as a contrarian value play. My issue with Mo Wagner is foul trouble risk there against Nikola Jokic. All right, so what is that? 5 games up, 5 games down. Let's refresh Fantasy Labs. Let's make sure we're up to date here. Daniel House will start for PJ Tucker. Again, we're still waiting on Eric Gordon news. That is pretty big. Lifting Bishops with a $1 super chat. Thank you, man. No comment, but I appreciate the support, guys. Definitely not needed. Thank you, man. All right, moving on to Detroit and Chicago. So, Jeremy Grant, I think, is an interesting tournament play. He's been really bad last 3 games, 24, 28, 28 fantasy points, 4 of 15, 5 of 16, 4 of 17 last 3 games. He's not going to continue to shoot this bad, and this is a good matchup. So I'm fine, kind of buying into Jeremy Grant. I think he'll be low owned. Don't mind Mason Plumlee. I love targeting players against the Chicago Bulls front court. He should play over 30 minutes. He had a triple-double last game, so I think Plumlee is definitely viable. DeLon Wright is a guy that does stand out to me at 6K. Should play mid-30s minutes. He's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet too. Last game, 17, 7, and 6. 2 games ago, 22, 6, and 7. Right, 4 games ago, 22, 4, and 9. With no Derrick Rose, he should play at 35 minutes. And I do like the match, but I do think DeLon Wright is too cheap here. I like him. Sadiq Bey, priced about right. Probably not going to go there. You can take a shot on Svi Mikhailuk at 3-2. Not sure what the minutes will be. But if he plays over 20, he can get there if he hits his shots. I'm moving on to Chicago. It's really Zach LaVine for me. That's probably it. I do like LaVine a good amount in tournaments. I think he goes overlooked on the slate. LaVine has gotten overlooked a lot recently, but he has enormous upside. He's got 50-plus fantasy point upside. Kobe White, just because the minutes, 34, 34, 39 in regulation that last game. So both the guards I think I would look to. Would prefer LaVine. Obviously, you can get to him. Value, no thank you on this one. All right, last 4 games here. Real quick, though, guys. Let's see where we're at. 400 viewers, 51 likes. Can we get to 100 likes before the end of the show? We'll be on for a good another 15 minutes trying to get some questions at the end. So, Portland and New Orleans. This is a game that, what's the over-under on this one? Let's see. Do they not have it out? I don't think they have it out. Yeah, but again, New Orleans has been playing faster recently. Damian Lillard at 10-3 has a lot of upside here. He's going to play, 35-plus minutes for sure. Clearly the number 1 in the offense. I do like Dame a good amount at that price point. Cantor viable in tournaments. Again, this rotation, especially if Rodney Hood is out, it's basically going to be an 8-man rotation. So Enes Cantor is a guy that you can take a shot on for tournaments. Not a cash game play, but a viable for GPPs. Covington, Trent Jr., Mello, all the secondary options for me. I think Derrick Jones Jr. for value, if there is no Rodney Hood, probably has to play good minutes. He played 32 and 31 last couple games. So Derrick Jones Jr. would be a value play that's viable just because of minutes alone, really. All right, moving on to New Orleans. Let's see real quick, though. Oh, Chance with the $2 super chat. Thank you, man. Thanks, DK. You're the man. Hey, thank you a lot. Seriously. Again, super chat's not necessary, but that is greatly, greatly appreciated, man. Thank you a lot for that. So, all right, moving on to New Orleans. This is a really, really good matchup. So Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, I've kind of been overlooking the last couple slates, but they continue to get there. 46, 45, and 42 fantasy points for Ingram the last 3 games. Zion Williamson at 48, 44, and 51 in a blowout. Again, Portland plays very little defense. So I do like both guys at the top. If I had to pick one, it would be Zion for the $200 difference or discount. Ball, Bledsoe, Adams, all just kind of secondary play. Steven Adams was a little bit banged up and has been losing minutes recently, so I don't really feel good about that. Josh Hart has had some decent games off the bench at 4.8K. We've seen a couple 40 fantasy point games from him. So I think he's a viable tournament play if you want to go there for value. But that's it for New Orleans. Moving on to OKC and Memphis. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is back. Now, I haven't heard anything of a minutes limit. I could have missed it. We'll see. I'm guessing he's not going to get full minutes. We'll see, though. If there's no limitations in SGA, then obviously he's a good tournament play because I don't think a lot of people get to him. The guy I'm really looking to for value with no Al Horford, I'm guessing it's going to be Roby that starts. If Isaiah Roby does start, I'm guessing we probably get 25-plus minutes, which would make him a really good value play. So just got to keep an eye on that. I mean, I guess I could start Mike Muscala too, but we've seen when Horford's been out, it's been Roby that starts. So I do like Roby. You can use Muscala as a GBP pivot who probably will play the backup 5. But that's really it. On the Memphis side, I do like John Morant quite a bit. A little bit tilted that last game. Even in a blowout, he had a massive game when I finally hopped off. But the upside is here. This is a good matchup. I do like Ja a good amount here at that price. You can take a shot on Jonas Valanciunas for tournaments, but again, the minutes haven't been as high with Brandon Clark back. And other than that, there's really not a ton I love on Memphis. Moving on to Miami, Golden State. It's Jimmy, it's Bam. Both look pretty solid here at 8-8 and 8-6 respectively. No one on Golden State really can hang with Jimmy Butler. He's had triple-double upside basically every single game. He's playing big minutes, and then Bam Adebayo against that undersized Golden State front court. I like both the Miami guys here in Jimmy and Bam. Other than that, I don't really trust any other value plays here for the Miami guy or for the Miami side. On the Golden State side, Steph Curry always in play for tournaments, but that's really it. Draymond Green is probably the guy that you could play in both formats just because he's a guy that stuffs the stat sheet. It's not the best matchup, but he's got, triple-double upside. He went for 6, 8, and 16 with 2 blocks and 2 steals that last game. That's the type of stat line Draymond Green will get you. So I think he's viable in the mid-range, but that's really it. I don't like a lot on Golden State. Finally, Utah and the Clippers. So if Mike Conley and Kawhi Leonard are in, this is probably just a game I'll cross off. Don't really love this game. Two good defensive teams. So if Mike Conley is in fact out, though, then Donovan Mitchell is someone we could look to for tournaments. We've seen some big games from him with Mike Conley out of the lineup. Last couple games have been a little bit disappointing. That game against Miami was a blowout, but still would have some interest in him. Maybe someone to look to more in the late slate. Clarkson, Ingles priced up a bit. I don't love the price in either of them, but you could take a shot in one in GPPs if you wanted to. Lastly, the Clippers. So Kawhi Leonard's in. I don't really like anything. If Kawhi Leonard is out, I think we can take a shot on a guy like Lou Williams for GPPs. He'll probably be the number one man in the offense. So yeah, Lou would be someone we could look to for tournaments. Marcus Morris, I guess, as well. I will say if Kawhi Leonard is out, then obviously they're missing 2 of the better defenders with Kawhi and Paul George. So that would be a slight boost to guys like Mitchell, Clarkson, and Pat Beverly is back. They limited his minutes the last game, so I don't think he's going to play huge minutes. You can take a shot there, but I don't think he probably plays more than 20-ish, maybe a little bit more than that. All right, so that was it. I know, guys, that was really, really fast, but again, kind of running limited on time here, so I wanted to go through everything really quick, and then leave some time for some questions. That was pretty quick. Let's see, Ish Smith's out for 6 to 8 weeks for Washington. Okay, so we're basically up to date now on everything. Daniel with the $5 super chat. Thank you, man. Really do appreciate that. Who starts for Ben Simmons? Again, that's a good question. I'm not sure. So starting lineup will be Embiid, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, Danny Green. I'm trying to think. Obviously, Dwight's not going to start. Is it Thibault maybe? Maybe Mike Scott? Mike Scott started the 5 that last game. They have guys that can use. I don't think Maxey starts. I mean, they have basically 4 guys they can use. Korkmaz, Maxey, Thibault, Mike Scott. I really don't know what Philadelphia is going to do here. I am not sure. We'll see. I'll keep an eye on that. Again, I'm genuinely curious to see who starts. Some people, you guys see Maxey, Korkmaz, Maxey. Yeah, so if Maxey starts, then he's obviously a good value. So we'll just have to keep an eye on who ends up starting there for Philly. If he does start, again, we have no Shake Milton, no Ben Simmons. That's 2 point guards off the floor. Seth Curry can run the point, but he's not really a point guard. It could be Maxey. I'm just thinking about this. Obviously, Tobias is not going to run the point. Danny Green's not going to run the point. So, yeah, Seth Curry can bring the ball up, but, it might be Maxey. We'll see. So, this is a wait-and-see approach. Whoever does start, I would like for the Philadelphia 76ers. That's a lot of minutes to go around with Ben Simmons. Korkmaz is a guy that is, if he starts, he's very reliant on the scoring. So if you play him, you got to know this is a realistic possibility of 20 plus minutes and like 5 fancy points. Thibault is also just more out there for his defense. So like this is just a bigger boost to those high usage guys like Embiid, like Tobias Harris. So yeah, keep an eye on that Philadelphia starting lineup news. But yeah, I'm not sure who they're going to start. Yeah, so if Korkmaz starts, then I'm guessing Seth Curry and will probably move to the point guard. He would become a better play there for sure. 4-6 would have, I think, a little bit of a higher floor with the assist with no Ben Simmons. So just, again, keep an eye on Philadelphia. But there is a lot of value. So like we don't necessarily have to jam in whoever starts for Philly into our lineups. There's 10 games and we already have a decent amount of value out there. So it's not a must to play whoever starts for the Philadelphia 76ers. Plumlee or Cantor, I think I'd rather take a shot at Plumlee. Thompson or Robert Williams. So if we go off last game, I think I'd rather have Robert Williams because he's $1,000 cheaper. He's a better point per minute guy. But like I'm always a little bit uneasy with Brad Stevens because you just never know what he's going to do with the center rotation. Like if Grant Williams gets in that center rotation and it's a 3-headed monster and Robert Williams only plays like 10 minutes, then that's the risk. So maybe the slightly safer play is Thompson, but if we get similar minutes, I would prefer Robert Williams. Is it fine to play Jokic and Embiid? Of course. They're two guys that have really high upside. Tristan or Roby, that's a good one. I think if Roby starts, I would prefer him, but that would be pretty close. I think they're good value, both good values. I think I want to prioritize getting Embiid and Jokic. Yeah, you can definitely do that. They're two of the best spend ups for sure. Plumlee or Gobert, I think I'd rather take a shot on Plumlee. Campazzo facing the Wizards. Yeah, again, if both those guys are out for Denver and Campazzo starts, I think he's one of the best value plays for sure. Levine or Westbrook. If you can get to Westbrook, I think Westbrook, but I do like Levine for tournaments. Yeah, Plumlee or Gobert, I think I'd rather take the shot on Plumlee. Stars and scrubs. Yeah, I mean, depends. Like, I'm using a lot of value in guys in like the 7 to 8K range. So, like, do you consider that stars and scrubs? I'm not sure. Can I play Robert Williams in cash? Again, it's like, I think you can. It's just a little uneasy feeling. I have a little bit of uneasy feeling because it's Brad Stevens. If he plays 20 minutes again, 100%. But again, there's no guarantee. But, like, he's at min price. I think you could do it. Hesitant playing Embiid and Jokic together because of the Celtics center value. That's the tough part. You have the Celtics center value, plus you have Isaiah Roby. Now, Isaiah Roby is power forward eligible. Yeah, so I think favorite value plays probably those bigs that I just mentioned, plus Campazzo. Clint Capella, more of a contrarian play. I have a hard time prioritizing him. Could see him get there for sure. Minutes have been up and down on him. If the minutes are there, he can definitely have an upside game. But I don't know if I want to take the shot on him on this slate. Would it be good play to having Tatum and Brown in the same lineup? You can do it. Like with no Kemba Walker, I like them both a good amount. Playing both on a 10-game slate together, I mean, might be holding you back a little bit, but I can see them both getting there with no Kemba. Wall, Ja, or Murray for GPP? It's a good question. Give me Ja Morant there. How would you stack the Denver-Washington game? Probably Jokic with Westbrook and then Campazzo for value. Maybe take a shot at Mo Wagner if you want. Favorite spend ups tonight? I don't know if I have a favorite spend up. Again, of the guys like way at the top here with like Jokic, Embiid, Steph, Lillard, Vooch, Westbrook. I mean, I personally think Jokic has the most upside. The issue is, again, the opportunity cost of using him at center, right? There's a lot of good value at center. And that was the sole reason I did not play him last slate was because I thought the value was the best with the bigs in Thompson and Robert Williams. So I played them both. And there's, once again, those two plus Roby out there for value right now. Now, again, we're definitely going to get some more value. Got to see what Philadelphia does to the starting lineup. But that is the one concern with Jokic is the opportunity cost of playing at center. Is it necessarily worth it? I don't know, but I think he does. Of those guys at the very top, I think he has the most. Like he's got 80 fantasy point upside in this matchup. Lou Will and Little or Seth Curry and Bay. I don't love either option, to be honest. I guess Seth Curry and Bay. Sabonis, good play. He's a little pricey, but I still like Sabonis and Randall, I think, are priced about right. but they can still have upside at 9.5 and 9.7. Butler or Tatum for cash? Yeah, it's basically a coin flip, honestly. I guess I'll give the edge to Tatum because there's no Kemba Walker, but I like them both a lot. Yeah, I think Derrick Jones Jr., especially if there's no Rodney Hood, he'll probably have to play 30 minutes. And again, lower usage guy, but yeah, John Wall. Yes, John Wall, if there's no Eric Gordon, I like a lot. Wall, Campozo, Jaylen Brown, Roby, Thompson, DeLon Wright, RJ Barrett, and Embiid for cash. Wasn't really considering RJ Barrett, to be honest. His minutes have been a little bit shaky, I feel like. He's at 5'7". Yeah, 26, 22, then 33 that last game. It's just like I don't really trust the minutes for him with a lot of guards now there for the Knicks, so I'm probably not going to do RJ Barrett. Single entry, Zion and Jimmy Butler or Jokic and DeLon Wright. Whew. Oh my God, that is like, give me Jokic and DeLon Wright, but I love both options. Vanderbilt or Jones Jr.? I will go Vanderbilt if he starts again. I think Vanderbilt's a better point per minute guy, but I like those are also two good values at the power forward position. Tatum, Embiid, and Jokic in the same lineup, you can 100% do that. Embiid, Vanderbilt, Embiid, Vanderbilt, and MC. You might have to say that again. Butler or Tatum. Yeah, it's basically identical for me. I'll go Tatum because there's no Kemba, but I like both. Do you like SGA? If there's no limitations, I haven't seen anything on that. If there are no limitations, he's a good contrarian spend up that not a lot of people get to. Zion, Ingram, and run it back with Lillard. I like that for tournaments. Yeah. Like that is a stack I do like. That game should be played really fast. It is a 10-game slate, but like I could see that game being really high scoring. Yeah, Jaylen or Levine. I think I'll take the discount on Jaylen Brown, but it's not, again, I do like Levine for tournaments. I'm just saying optimal-wise, I might prefer the price there in Brown. You like Ja? I do like Ja. I mean, I kind of always like Ja, but I do like him a good amount here. Thoughts on DeLon Wright, Campozo, Jimmy Butler, Zion, Jokic, MCW, Roby, and Robert Williams? I think it's a good lineup. Butler or Tatum? Again, Tatum, close though, and it's only because there's no Kemba Walker. Vanderbilt, in play for value, especially if he starts. If Maxey starts, pick two of Maxey, Pritchard, and Campozo. It would be Campozo and Maxey. It would be Campozo for sure if both those Denver guys are out. Maxey versus Pritchard. Both should start a point guard, but it might be Pritchard. That's basically a coin flip. Maxey and Pritchard, if they both start, are really close plays for me. What's Pritchard's price? I mean, he's 4'1". He's 4'2". Maxey is 3'2". So maybe I would prefer Maxey actually, just because the price discount if they both start. Again, we're still waiting on that news. I think I would take the discount there with Maxey if they end up both starting. Jokic and Embiid stack in cash. I don't know if I do that in cash because there's a lot of good value with the bigs. That's my only reason. McConnell or Dylan Brooks? McConnell if there's no McDermott. Only if there's no McDermott. If not, then go Brooks. But I'm not really interested in Dylan Brooks in the slate. Nwaba or Vanderbilt? If there's no Eric Gordon, then Nwaba's probably a little bit safer because of the minutes, but Vanderbilt's the better point per minute guy. I think the upside's a little bit higher, and I might prefer. It might be Nwaba. I think I'm gonna go Nwaba if there's no Eric Gordon. That's a close one though. Curry or Lillard for cash? It's gonna be Dame for me. I got Ja, Levine, Jones Jr., Roby, Jokic, DeLon Wright, MCW. I think it's a good lineup. Levine and run it back with Wright and Bey. You can do it. Again, I don't love the price in Sadiq Bey. I do like the price in DeLon Wright though. How does this look, DK? Ball, Seth Curry, Tatum, House, Randall, DeLon, MPJ, Campozo. I don't love a couple players there. I don't love MPJ. He will be low owned after busting last couple of slates. I'm guessing that's Lonzo Ball. Don't really like the price on. I mean, he's fine. I would just rather get to Zion and Ingram. I'm not saying Lonzo can't get there, but I just don't know if that's a play we have to go to on this slate. House is fine too, but he's priced up. Like $5K price for Danuel House is not amazing, especially if Eric Gordon's back. Noel or Vanderbilt. Noel if you can get to him, but I think I might prefer the Boston centers to Noel. Derrick Rose, Maxey, Anthony, Edwards, Bay, Embiid. It's pretty contrarian. It's pretty contrarian. Beverly, Bullock. I'm not really interested in Reggie Bullock at all. Campozo starting. We're still waiting on Denver news. We're still waiting on Monte Morris. We're still waiting on Gary Harris. He's only viable if, well, he would be a really, really good player if they're both out. So we just got to keep an eye on that for sure. Thoughts on Lonzo Ball? Just a fine play. Again, I would rather get to Zion or Ingram. Lonzo probably plays around. I mean, the minutes, he'll probably play at 30-ish, 30 to 32. He can get there. He's shown some 40 fantasy point games. So it's like, I'm kind of just one where it's like, okay, if you land on him, that's all right. But not really seeking to play him. Wagner or Roby. Thoughts on Campozo, Levine, Tatum, Vanderbilt, Embiid, Wright, Roby, Rob Williams for GPP. It looks good. Wall, Campozo, Nwaba, Roby, Rob Williams, Job, Butler, and Jokic. I like that. Campozo, Rob Williams, Levine, or Maxey, Rob Williams, Sabonis. Right now it's the first one, but again, that's dependent on Denver news. Beverly, Bullock. Again, I'm not really interested in Bullock. I got Wright, Campozo, Tatum, Roby, Rob Williams, Pritchard, Sabonis, and Embiid. Okay, I think that's a decent lineup for sure. Roby better than Vanderbilt? I think so. I mean, they're pretty similar, right? You get Roby, Vanderbilt, Tristan Thompson, Nerlens Noel. All those like value bigs are pretty similar to me, but I think I would give that to Roby just because he's starting at center, Vanderbilt starting at the 4. If he does in fact start, I assume he's going to start. Wright, Campozo, Edwards, Roby, Capella, Morant, Williamson, and Jonas Valanciunas for cash. I don't think I do that for cash. I don't think I play Capella. I don't think I play JV for cash. I don't think I play Anthony Edwards for cash. Those are more tournament plays. Wall, Nwaba, Butler, Zion, Thompson, DeLon Wright, Roby, and Draymond. I'm fine with that. Lillard, Maxey, Butler, Zion, Bam, Pritchard, Thibault, Williams for GPP. Thibault's he's just such a low usage guy. Like even if he starts, I don't know if we have to go there for value. He can get there, but he needs one of those games like a couple of blocks, couple of steals. Wall or Jaylen Brown? That's a good question. It's almost identical right now. If there's no Eric Gordon, give me Wall, but it's really close. Why is everyone posting lineups? Just to give my thoughts, really. If there's anything that stands out for me, I'll let people know. Tatum or Zion? If you can get... I'd like the price a little bit better on Zion, but that's basically a coin flip. I guess Tatum with no Kemba, but I really like both of them. Roby or Jones Jr.? I would rather have Isaiah Roby if they both start. Roby or Vanderbilt? Roby. Thoughts on McLaughlin? He's a riskier value play. He'll play the backup point guard. Probably not necessary on this slate with all the other value, but we've seen chalk value bust. So like that's one way to differentiate yourself. House or MCW? Thoughts on Rob Williams and cash? I think you can do it because he's really, really cheap. Top shot to the moon, you know it. Yeah, if both those Denver guys are out and he starts, then yes, he's going to play big minutes. Morant, Nwaba, Butler, Roby. Yeah, I think that's a good lineup. Robert Williams, 3,600 FanDuel lock? No. Because I'm guessing he's only a center there, and like you can only use one center. Is Maxey a lock? No. I would like him if he starts, though. We'll see. We'll got to see what they do with the starting lineup. Nwaba not in play if Gordon starts. Yeah, I don't think I would play David Nwaba at that price then. Ja, Maxey if he starts, Tatum, Zion, Jokic, Pritchard, Roby, Rob Williams for cash. I think it's a good lineup. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is a little bit more stars and scrubs with a lot of the guys in like that 7 to 8K range. So not like all the way at the top, but value plus like maybe 4 guys in that 7 to 8K range. DeLon and Sabonis or Ja and Butler? I'll go Ja and Butler, but I like both. Adams or MCW? Thoughts on MPJ for cash? I just don't think I can do it. And the reason is just Mike Malone. Mike Malone I don't trust him. I know MPJ had a bad shooting game. Levine or Lillard. Wagner, Muscala, Wagner, even though there's risk there. Bay, Hero, none. Hero of that bunch. He's the only center on FanDuel, but Roby, power forward. Okay. Thoughts on Danilo Gallinari? Not really for me. I think I'm going to look elsewhere for value. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to go. I got to go stream for Patreon. So good luck to everyone today. Again, 10 games. Keep an eye on that news. We're waiting on a good amount of news here. We had almost 500 viewers, so I appreciate each of you guys coming to check it out. Yeah, have a great night, guys, and I'll see you all later.